All right, thanks, guys. The Colts take on the Patriots, 8:20 East in Foxborough. The Patriots opened up 10, now the 10.5-point favorites in this one. Total also opened 55.5, down to 53 even. New England comes into Thursday's game just 2-2 on the year, 2-2 ATS as well. They're also averaging just 220 yards passing through the air, which is fairly low for them. They're also giving up 21 points a game and 122 yards rushing on the ground. They're taking on a Colts team who's just 1-3 on the season, but successfully covered 2 out of their last 3 ball games. They're averaging 24 points of scoring per game and 265 yards passing per contest as well. Indy's garnered themselves some marquee covers over Washington and Philadelphia. Now, they are a bit banged up. Costanzo questionable at tackle. Turbin could be back following a suspension. Hilton's doubtful with a hammy. Doyle's questionable with a hip injury. So a lot of weapons on offense could be in jeopardy, although I'm going to cap this game as if these guys are going to play. And even when it comes to the betting trends, the numbers do tend to favor the Colts in this matchup here. 4-2 ATS last 6, 5-2 ATS last 7 on the road. They're also taking on a New England squad who's dropped 2 out of their last 3, failing to cover in those last 2 losses as well. New England's just 2-4 ATS in their last 6 games dating back to last season. Now, total-wise, good amount of unders between both of these squads. 2 out of both teams' last 3 stayed under the total. The total's also gone under in 13 out of New England's last 19 ball games. The Pats are also 4-2 to the under in their last 6 at Gillette Stadium. Meanwhile, same song and dance for the Colts, 10-2 to the under in their last 12 dating back to last season, 5-0 to the under in their last 5 away from home. So with all that said and done, I think we should see this one stay within a few scores. I think the Colts should be able to cover in this spot here, despite being the double-digit dog. Patriots should win this one outright, but when it comes to the spread, give me the Colts plus 11 after buying the hook and the under, 53 points in this one. And with that said, welcome to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for our NFL Week 5 early slate of games. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're costing yourself valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed to that channel. Now, packages begin at just $1.99 a month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser and just quickly check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. Link is in the description section below. And if you're a current patron of mine and you're watching me right now, I just can't thank you enough. You make it all worth it. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at our NFL Week 5 early slate of NFL games and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Broncos, Jets, 1 o'clock New York. The Jets are the 1-point favorite in this one. Total open 43.5 up to 44 flat. The Broncos are 2-1 on the season, wins over Seattle and Oakland. Denver's holding their opponents to just 77 rushing yards per game on average. The Broncos are also 5-1 ATS in their last 6, taking on the Jets. Meanwhile, on the New York side of things, they've dropped 3 of 4 straight up to start the season. They're also 0-3 ATS in their last 3 ball games. The Darnold-led Jets are scoring just 22 points per game while giving up 108 yards rushing per game on defense. New York failed to cover against the Dolphins, Browns, and Jags thus far. They're also just 1-5 ATS in their last 6, taking on the Broncos in the Meadowlands. Now, total-wise, 2 out of both teams' last 3 games stayed under the line. The total's also gone under in 4 out of New York's last 6. Meanwhile, on the Denver side, they're 5-2 to the under in their last 7, dating back to last season. So with all that said and done, I'm going to ride with another underdog in this one. Give me the Denver Broncos plus 1 and the under, 44 points in this one. Next game, Jaguars, Chiefs. Jaguars, Chiefs, 1 o'clock Kansas City. KC's minus 3.5, totals 51. The Chiefs are a perfect 3-0 on the season, 3-0 ATS as well. KC successfully covered the number over the likes of the Chargers, Steelers, and Niners. This history-making offense led by Mahomes find themselves scoring 39 points on average per game. They're also 7-1 ATS in their last 8, dating back to last season, and 4-1 ATS in their last 5 at Arrowhead Stadium. The Jags, on the other hand, come into Sunday failing to cover 1 out of their last 2. They were the 10-point favorites up against Tennessee in Week 3 and lost that one outright, only scoring 6 points in that affair. Jacksonville is also just 2-4 ATS in their last 6, playing Kansas City. This Jacksonville D also finds themselves giving up nearly 100 yards rushing per game on average. Now, total-wise, we should still see a lot of it despite this great Jacksonville defense. KC once again scores 39 a game. They tend to give up some points too. They're allowing 31 points a game on average, 363 through the air, and 111 on the ground. KC's 4-1 to the over in their last 5. 2 out of Jacksonville's last 3 got over the total, where they scored 31 points respectively in each one of those overs. So with all that said and done, I think we're going to see another Kansas City victory at home here. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs -3 after buying the hook in the over. 51 points in this one. Next game, Ravens-Browns, 1 o'clock Cleveland. The Ravens open -1, now -2.5 against the spread. Totals 46 points. Baltimore comes in 3-1 on the year, 3-1 ATS in those 4 ball games. They're putting up 31 points a game, 308 yards through the air. They're also giving up just 16 points per contest and 82 yards on the ground per game as well. Baltimore's 5-0 straight up in their last 5 against Cleveland, successfully covering the point spread in each and every one of those 5 contests. And in general, the Ravens have been a pretty good covering team over the past couple of seasons. 6-3 ATS last 9, 4-1 ATS in their last 5 on the road. And historically, the Ravens are 9-1 in their last 10 playing in the city of Cleveland. Meanwhile, on the Cleveland side, I've got a bad feeling that they're going to continue to take money throughout the 2018 season. And if you're one of those Cleveland backers in this spot here, just keep in mind that they're still giving up 26 points a game, 278 through the air, and 117 on the ground. They've won just 1 out of 4 straight up on the season and are just 19-1 straight up in their last 21. Now, total-wise seems a bit high to me. Once again, Baltimore's giving up just 16 points per contest and just 82 yards rushing per game. 2 out of their last 2 ball games stayed under the total as well. The total's also gone under in 10 out of Baltimore's last 15 playing Cleveland. Meanwhile, on the Browns side of things, they were scoring just 20 points per game on average until that anomaly against Oakland. And despite that high-scoring affair, 2 out of Cleveland's last 3 ball games still stayed under the total either way. So with all that said and done, I've got to side with the Ravens in this spot here. Give me the Baltimore Ravens -2 after buying the hook in the under. 46 points in this one. Next game, Dolphins-Bengals, 1 o'clock Cincinnati. The Bengals were 6, now -5.5. Total was 47.5, all the way up to an even 50 points. Miami's 3-1 on the year, but are coming off a humiliating loss at the hands of the Patriots, 38-7. They've also been plagued by a few injuries. Hayes out for the season with a knee. Jones questionable with a shoulder. Kilgore questionable with an arm injury. Branch has a knee. Parker's questionable with a quad. Plus several more injuries on that injury report. And despite their 3-1 record, the Dolphins are scoring just 20 points a game. Just 198 yards passing per game as well. They're actually giving up 23 points per game on average in a big 285 yards passing through the air as well. Now, historically, the Fins are just 5-10 ATS over their last 15 games and find themselves just 1-6 ATS in their last 7 away from home. Meanwhile, on the Cincy side, they're amassing 32 points per game and 283 yards passing through the air. They come into Sunday's matchup 3-1 on the year, successfully covering in 3 out of those 4 matchups as well. Cincy's garnered themselves some marquee covers over Indy, Baltimore, and the Falcons, all of which were outright victories as well. Cincy's gone 5-1 ATS in their last 6 ball games, 4-1 ATS in their last 5 at Paul Brown Stadium. Now, total-wise, we could see a lot of scoring in this one. Miami's once again giving up 285 yards passing through the air per game, 111 yards rushing on average as well. Meanwhile, the Bengals are giving up 28 points per contest, 304 yards passing, and 116 yards rushing per contest as well. Since he's 5-0 to the over in their last 5, 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home. Meanwhile, on the Miami side, they're 10-5 to the over in their last 15, dating back to last season. So with all that said and done, I really like the Bengals in this spot here. I'm also liking a lot of scoring in this one. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals -5 after buying the hook and the over 50 points in this one. Next game, Titans-Bills, 1 o'clock Buffalo. The Titans are -3.5. Total was 38.5, up to 39 even. The Titans are $1.75 for some moneyline cash. Tennessee's 3-1 on the season, 3-1 ATS in those 4 games as well. They're holding their opponents to just 18 points per game and have marquee covers over Houston, Jacksonville, and Philly. Tennessee's 7-2 ATS in their last 9, 4-1 against the spread, taking on Buffalo. They are taking on a Buffalo squad who's led by their rookie quarterback and a 1-3 record for the season. Buffalo's also gone just 1-3 ATS in their last 4 games for the season as well. Buffalo scoring a measly 12 points on offense per game. They're also averaging just 132 yards passing per contest as well. Buffalo's just 1-4 ATS at home versus Tennessee. They've also lost by double digits in every defeat so far in the season. Now, total-wise, not so sure we should expect a lot of it in this one. Buffalo's 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games, 4-2 to the under in their last 6, dating back to last season. Meanwhile, on the Tennessee side of things, 2 out of their last 3 stayed under the total as well. So with all that said and done, I think this is a pretty good spot for Titans backers. Give me the Tennessee Titans -3 after buying the half a point and the under 39 total points in this one. Next game, Giants-Panthers, 1 o'clock Carolina. The Panthers were 5.5, now -6.5. Total was 42.5, up to 44 flat. The Panthers are 285 for some moneyline cash. They come into Sunday's matchup at 2-1 for the year with 2 covers. They're scoring 24 points per game and find themselves grinding out 166 yards per game on the ground. They've got marquee covers over the Cowboys and the Bengals thus far. Those were outright victories as well. Carolina's gone 9-4 ATS in their last 13, dating back to last season. 6-1 ATS in their last 7 at home. And speaking of home, these guys have been red hot in the Queen City, 5-0 straight up in their last 5 at Bank of America Stadium. Meanwhile, on the New York side of things, they've got a few injuries themselves. Vernon, questionable with an ankle. Lattimore's got a knee. Apple's got a groin. Ingram's out with a knee. The G-men also find themselves scoring just 18 points per contest and rushing for just 82 yards a game. New York comes into Sunday's game losing 3 of 4 straight up for the season, failing to cover in 3 out of those 4 ball games as well. New York's just 2-4 ATS in their last 6, 2-4 ATS in their last 6 on the road, 1-5 straight up in their last 6 road games as well. Now, scoring-wise, we might see a good amount of it in this ball game here. Carolina's 2-1 to the over thus far in the year. They are giving up 110 yards rushing per game as well. The Panthers are 8-3 to the over in their last 11. They're also 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home. Meanwhile, on the Giants side of things, they're once again giving up 24 points per contest. The total's also gone over in 5 out of New York's last 7 when playing Carolina. So with all that said and done, I do like the favorites in this one. Give me the Carolina Panthers -6 after buying the hook and the over 44 points in this one. Next game, Falcons-Steelers, 1 o'clock Pittsburgh. The Steelers were 3, now -4.5. Total was 55.5, up to 56 even. Atlanta does have a real nice marquee cover over the Carolina Panthers this season. They were laying 5.5 and got the job done in week 2. This Atlanta offense is also putting up 29 points a game, 315 through the air, and nearly 100 on the ground per game. Now, trend-wise, Atlanta's 4-2 ATS in their last 6 playing Pittsburgh, and we could potentially see Devontae Freeman back in the lineup this Sunday as he's been dealing with that knee injury. Meanwhile, on the Steelers side of things, they were taken care of handily by the Ravens last night. That loss on primetime drops them to 1-2-1 on the year and just 1-3 ATS in those 4 games as well. Pittsburgh's giving up 29 points per game, 305 yards through the air, and 116 yards rushing per game. Pittsburgh's failed to cover against Cleveland, KC, and Baltimore thus far in the season. The Steelers are also just 1-5 ATS in their last 6, while also going 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 at Heinz Field. Now, total-wise, we should see a lot of it in this matchup here. Both teams are 3-1 to the over thus far in the season. And once again, Atlanta scoring 29 a game, while also giving up 31 per game as well. Pittsburgh's putting up a 26-burger a game themselves and giving up 29 a game as well. The Steelers are 5-1 to the over in their last 6 and 7-2 to the over in their last 9 at Heinz Field. So with all that said and done, I'm really liking this one to be a basketball game on turf. I like the underdogs in this one as well. Give me the Atlanta Falcons +5 after buying the hook and the over. 56 points in this one. All right, next and final game for this show. Packers-Lions, 1 o'clock Detroit. The Packers are -1.5. Total was 54.5 down to 51 even. The Packers are $1.20 for some money line cash. The Pack goes into Sunday's game 2-1-1 on the year. They're averaging 23 points a game on offense, 269 through the air. Randall Cobb's still got a hammy issue. Geronimo Allison is dealing with a concussion. So a couple weapons still questionable for Rodgers, but regardless, not much this guy can't do. And historically, the Packers do cover quite well against Detroit. 16-8 ATS in their last 24 meetings, 8-4 ATS in their last 12 in the Motor City. They are taking on a Detroit squad who's dropped 3 of 4 thus far in the season. They're also giving up 29 points per contest and 158 yards on the ground rushing. Now, total-wise, bunch of overs between both of these squads. Both teams are 3-1 to the over thus far in the season. The total's also gone over in 5 out of Green Bay's last 5 games away from home. Meanwhile, the Lions are 5-0 to the over in their last 5, taking on Green Bay. The Lions are also 4-1 to the over in their last 5, taking on Green Bay in the city of Detroit. So with all that said and done, we should see Rodgers torch this Matt Patricia-led defense. Give me the Packers -1 after buying the hook in the over. 51 points in this one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I just have to remind you to check out my daily best play at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're costing yourself valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser and just quickly check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you're a current patron of mine and you're watching this program right now, I just can't thank you enough. You make it all worth it. And as always, thank you for watching today's program. I hope you enjoyed all this great free information. And please don't forget to check out my daily best play at patreon.com/BrockPage.